When Brenda torched my cornfield, she walked right into the trap I'd been laying for 6 weeks. And you better believe the smell of burning corn is something you never forget. 3 acres gone. Just like that, my daughter's college tuition up in smoke, and Brenda Hartwell standing by the fence with that smug little smile, clutching a gas can like she'd just painted the Mona Lisa. She even live-streamed it, bragging to her Facebook friends that farming is so outdated, and this neighborhood deserved better than my scruffy land. But that grin of hers, it vanished fast when the sirens started howling and she realized those fire trucks weren't racing past. They were headed straight for her. And for once in her life, Brenda didn't have an exit plan. Thing is, none of this took me by surprise. Folks ask what you'd do if your HOA neighbor burned your kid's future for some Facebook likes. Tell me in the comments, because I'm curious. But before we get to how she set herself on fire, let me back up a sec and walk you through how this all started. My name's Charlie Fieldstone, third-generation corn farmer, 8 acres in rural Ohio that my grandfather bought for $300 and a handshake in 1953. Used to be fields as far as you could see, but now I'm surrounded by cookie-cutter McMansions, Whispering Oaks estates, not an actual oak tree. In sight, my wife Denise teaches 3rd grade. Our twin daughters, Sarah and Emma, 18 and college-bound. One wants to be a vet, the other an engineer. College runs 30 grand apiece. And you know what pays for that? Corn. Every single ear. I loved the smell of corn tassels in the summer, until Brenda showed up and made every whiff feel like a threat. Brenda Hartwell, 48. Part-time house flipper, full-time nightmare. HOA president living in the biggest house on the block with her fake shutters and vinyl siding. Her backyard bumped up against my property. Only thing separating us was my granddad's old fence. She arrived at my door last spring with a clipboard and a smile that never reached her eyes. "We've had complaints about your farm equipment," she chirped. I looked at my John Deere, older than her whole subdivision. She gave me some line about rural aesthetics, killing property values. "Lady, this farm was here long before your HOA bylaws." But Brenda just got frostier, hinting things could get unpleasant. And right then, my rooster crowed, like a warning shot. A couple days later, I caught her with some slick developer type, pointing at my fields like she was planning to pave the whole thing. 8 acres, perfect for luxury townhomes, she said, as if I wasn't even standing there. They thought old farmers cave easy. That's when I realized it wasn't about property values. It was about commissions, development deals, and pure greed. I called my buddy Jake, Army vet turned AG lawyer. He said, "Document everything. And watch your six." He wasn't kidding. That night, I found my irrigation hoses slashed. Then came the fake fire complaints to the county, doctored photos making it look like I was burning illegally. Fire marshal showed up, but everything was by the book, military grade, actually. Brenda was laying a paper trail, trying to get me cited or fined, hoping I'd throw in the towel. But I learned in the Army, when someone goes that far, it means they're scared. And Brenda was desperate. Next came the sabotage, diesel dumped by my fuel tank. Not enough to hurt anything, just enough to send a message. She even tried bribing neighbors to make up safety violations. One old-timer, Harold, turned out to be my ace in the hole. Brenda offered him $500 to rat me out. He told her where she could shove it, then started slipping me intel. Turns out, she'd hit up half the neighborhood. Some folks played along, most didn't, but the game was rigged. So I started digging. Found proof sheet. Been telling buyers, zoning changes coming. Promising things the county never discussed. That's real estate fraud in Ohio, grounds for losing your license. I gathered screenshots, photos, and Harold's reports. Meanwhile, Brenda built a neighborhood safety committee, a crew of bored suburbanites with clipboards, snooping around, snapping pictures of my barn, my compost pile, my fuel tank. Every week, new complaints about dust, roosters, you name it. But the deeper I looked, the dirtier it got. Committee members had their own skeletons, fraud, revoked licenses, bankruptcies. Brenda had built her own little army of desperate people with nothing to lose. But she underestimated Harold, old postal worker with a nose for scams. He started attending her secret meetings, recording conversations, reporting back. One night, he heard them planning to plant dead fish by my creek, fake chemical spills, staged noise violations. I upgraded my cameras, infrared, motion sensors, the works. When Brenda started tampering with equipment, sugar in my gas tank, cutting hydraulic lines, loosening wheel bolts, I caught every second on tape. The war escalated. County water inspector showed up with fake usage reports, claiming my irrigation was draining the neighborhood supply. I ordered independent tests, proved the county data was forged. Brenda tried to poison my corn with herbicide, again, caught on camera. The evidence was piling up. Then Harold brought me the smoking gun, audio of Brenda promising her developer she'd have my land vacant by October 1st or face $50,000 in penalties. She'd already borrowed against her expected commission, $168,000 on a $2.8 million deal for my 8 acres. She wasn't just greedy. She was trapped, desperate, and out of options. That's when I discovered conservation easements. With one trip to the courthouse, I locked my land up forever. Agricultural only, no development. Not now, not ever. Didn't tell a soul. Let Brenda keep digging her grave. Meanwhile, Denise, my secret weapon, dug through case law, helping our lawyer Jake prep civil suits, criminal charges, regulatory complaints. We coordinated with the sheriff, the fire chief, the county. RICO laws, agricultural protection acts, conspiracy, fraud, the whole 9 yards. The trap was set. Brenda's final play was arson. Harold got wind of it. She was planning to torch my field during a time when fire crews would be occupied. I bought fire suppression gear, installed more cameras, told the fire chief what was up. The night Brenda struck, every move was recorded in crystal clear night vision. Her and her PI pouring accelerant, setting the fire, then running when the sirens closed in. Fire trucks arrived in under 2 minutes. Brenda was caught red-handed. But the real ending came at the city council meeting, just as Brenda was settling into her alibi. The chief called her out right there. I stood up, folder in hand, laid out the entire case. Audio, video, financials, witness statements. The whole town watched as Brenda's crimes came crashing down. The sheriff cuffed her in front of everyone. She tried to look tough, but you could see it. She was finished. 6 months later, Brenda's in prison. Her PI lost his license. The developer paid restitution and went bankrupt, and our family is stronger than ever. My girls are off to college, tuition paid. Denise now helps other farmers fight back, and Harold teaches folks how to spot scams before they ruin lives. Even better, we started a scholarship fund for kids going into agricultural law or sustainable farming. That's real justice, if you ask me. The Fieldstone Act made farmer harassment a felony statewide. Other families are protecting their land, and communities are standing up to bullies who think greed counts as progress. So, tell me, what would you have done in my shoes? Drop your own HOA horror story in the comments. Let's help more families fight back. And hey, if you want more wild stories about justice, subscribe, hit the bell, and don't forget to like and share. Because in the end, the best revenge is making sure nobody else ever has to fight this battle alone.